Shakur Stevenson ducked Gervonta Tank Davis. Y'all not gonna like this, but let me prove it to you. Let's go.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill
Pull
somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you hear, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So while you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link, get prepared to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
Shakur Stevenson fought Robson Conceição in September 2022. That was his last fight at 135. His last fight. 130. He moved up to 135 to fight Yoshirino, egg yolk, teriyaki, duck sauce, Yoshino, bum. Right? That was his first fight. Fought that man in April, all right, of 2023. Here's the problem that I have. Because when he moved up, so if we look at September for the WBA rankings, right? If you look at September, you go down to lightweight, he is not ranked. You do not see Shakur Stevenson at all. But again, his first fight was egg yolk in April 2023. His last fight was September 2022. So if you go to October of 2022, when he moved up, after that fight, he jumped in the rankings at number 5. That is very important. And I'm going to get to this here in a second, but this is very important. Number 5 is where he jumped into the rankings. So, if we go to November 2022, lightweight, he's still number 5. You have Lomachenko, William Zapata, Michelle Rivera, and Ryan Garcia. All these guys are ahead of him. All right, let's keep going. We go to December 2022. Ryan Garcia, now Frank Martin, William Zapata, Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson. All right. Again, his last fight was in April. That was his last fight. April. All right. So if your last fight was in April, your last fight September, from September to April, all this time you was ranked top 5 in the WBA. Let's go to March 2023. Let's see where he was ranked in March. This is before he fought egg yolk. So let's go March 2023. What do the rankings look like? he was still number 5. Lomachenko was still there. Zapata was still there. Frank Martin was still there. Ryan Garcia was still there. This is before he fought this bum. Before he fought this bum. Okay? Now, let's do something now. Gervonta Tank Davis fought Hector Luis Garcia in April. He fought Hector Garcia in April for the WBA lightweight. Then he fought Ryan Garcia. Okay, this fight right here, this one, Hector Luis Garcia in April. Well, in January, that's January. So with Tank, that's January, right? So January 2023. So what was Shakur Stevenson in December 2023? Let's go back to the December now. December 20. No, let's make sure we're clear. December 2022, because he fought in January 2023. So it will be December 2022. All right. So December 2022. Lightweight. He's number 5. Number 5. Which means that Shakur Stevenson could have became the mandatory for Gervonta Tank Davis. He could have became the mando at any time for Tank Davis. No, BFTB, that's not true. You're lying, BFTB. You're making up. He couldn't do that. He blah, 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 blah. The WBA rules. These are the WBA rules. These say, number 29, a mandatory challenger, a mandatory contender selection. A mandatory contender for each weight division may be selected by championship committee or through an eliminator bout. The selection may be subject to conditions. Generally, the highest rated boxer in the division or regional champion rated in the top 5 shall qualify to be named the official contender by the championship committee unless he is or is likely to be unavailable to fight for the title in the period required. The committee may remove a boxer as a mandatory contender for failure to comply with these rules or condition of appointment. Now, what I want you guys to focus on, because the only thing that matters in this section, is this. The contender for each weight may be selected by the championship committee through an eliminatory bout. Eliminatory bout. That's one. And then the selection may be subject to conditions. The highest rated boxer in the division or regional champion rated in the top 5. So an eliminator bout and top 5. Didn't Shakur Stevenson try to fight William Zapata? Yeah. This could have been an eliminator to become the mandatory to Tank Davis. William Zapata versus Shakur Stevenson as an eliminator to become the mandatory to Tank Davis. Or, again, if you go back to the rules, that's just the first one. That is just for the eliminatory bout, right? The second one, where it says, generally the highest rated boxer in the division or regional champ rated in the top 5 shall qualify to be named the official contender, right? So either you're going to fight in an eliminatory bout, right? You're going to fight in a title eliminator, or you'll just be top 5 and you can be named. You could be named the mandatory. So if Shakur Stevenson, who was calling to fight William Zapata, that's the fight he was calling for, chasing William Zapata down, wanting to fight William Zapata, saying William Zapata is ducking him, William Zapata don't want no smoke, William Zapata is scared, why won't William Zapata fight me? That's what Shakur Stevenson was saying. He said nothing about Frank Martin. He said absolutely nothing about him at all. Not one word. Not one word. And BFTB is on record saying, if you're calling out William Zapata and you're sending William Zapata a contract, why aren't you sending Frank Martin a contract? I'm on record saying, bro, this is a big fight for yourself, bro. Frank Martin has the Errol Spence tie. You have the Terrence Crawford tie. You can piggyback right off of that. Why aren't you sending Frank Martin a contract? Nothing. Crickets. Crickets. Until it was ordered by the WBC. When it was ordered by the WBC, then all of a sudden, he's a bitch. The bitch of all bitches. The bitch, 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 and the bitch, 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 and the bitch, 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 because he didn't take what I gave him. Well, why wasn't William Zapata a bitch? Why wasn't Pitbull Cruz a bitch? Why wasn't Lomachenko a bitch? None of these people were bitches. None of them. Why wasn't George Kambosos a bitch? None of these guys were bitches, but just Frank Martin. Well,
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
why didn't Shakur Stevenson simply petition the WBA the same way he petitioned the WBC? Why didn't he petition the WBA to become Gervonta Tank Davis's mandatory? Because Devin Haney was the super champion, so he had no WBA mandatory. Gervonta Tank Davis was the WBA regular champion, so he had all the mandatories. Devin had no mandatories. Tank had all the mandatories. Gervonta Tank Davis has fought every single mandatory he has ever had in his entire career. Every single one. There has never been a fighter who has been Gervonta Tank Davis's mandatory that he did not fight. It's never happened. He's fought every single one of them.
Facts are meaningless. You can use facts to prove anything that's even remotely true. Facts, Max.
Why didn't Shakur Stevenson try to be his mandatory?
I don't know. I really don't know.
But what I do know is that you guys will be in here making up excuses. You'll be all in the comments talking about, oh man, nah, BF, come on, man. Now, you know Tank wasn't going to do this. You know Tank was going to do that. You know Tank. You don't know anything. What you do know are the facts. And the facts are that Gervonta Tank Davis has fought every one of his mandatories. The facts are I crucified Lomachenko. Crucified him because Lomachenko called out Devin Haney called out Tank Davis for all these years. And instead of going the WBA route when he could have been Tank's mandatory, he went the WBC route. The exact same route that Shakur Stevenson did. Yeah. Y'all were all on board with me when I was flaming Lomachenko for ducking Tank Davis and going the WBC route when he called out Tank Davis all these years. Y'all was all on board. You right, BF. Dang, I didn't even think about that, BF. You right. Well, Shakur did the same thing. Shakur Stevenson did the exact same thing. See, Devin Haney was a champion before Tank Davis ever came to the division. Yeah, when Tank Davis came to the division, Devin Haney was the WBC champion when Tank came to 135. So there ain't going to be no, well, why didn't Tank just drop his belt? I mean, why didn't Devin just drop his belt and become Tank's mandatory? Just drop his belt. Why don't you just drop his belt? Because I don't see anybody telling Shakur Stevenson to drop his belt right now and become Tank Davis's mandatory. I don't see anybody telling him to drop his belt. I don't see it. But y'all told Devin to drop his belt and become Tank Davis's mandatory if he really wanted to fight with Tank Davis. But you're not telling Shakur to drop his belt, his email belt, his vacant title. You're not telling him to drop his and become Tank's mandatory. But he didn't have to. And I just proved it to you. He didn't have to. He could have petitioned the exact same way he petitioned the WBC. He could have petitioned the WBA to become regular champion Tank Davis's mandatory. He chose not to. Well, what? You think he's going to get a bigger split by being a champion? He is not. He's not at all. So let me guess, there was another reason on why he decided to go the WBC route out of nowhere and not the WBO route or the WBA route or the IBF route. What was the reason to go to WBC? What was the reason? It's not like you went up there and you immediately became a mandatory. You fought egg yolk. Yeah. So you would have fought one fight anyway. But the one fight would have been William Zapata, and the winner would have been Gervonta Tank Davis's mandatory. Or the one fight would have been Frank Martin, and the winner would have been Gervonta Tank Davis's mandatory. This man blatantly ducked Tank Davis. Blatantly didn't say a word. You in the ring talk about, yeah, Devin got them belts. You know, I want the belts. Devin got the belts, but Tank had a belt, right? Or was Tank belts not real? Was his belt not real? Or did Devin have the real belt? Or did he have the real belt? Which one was it? Because he had one. Tell Tank fans his belt wasn't real. tell Tank fans that. This nigga's soft. So you just going at Devin for everything, but no, Tank gets no smoke for nothing. No conversation for Tank about nothing. You pull up to Devin's parties, but you won't pull up on Tank. You pull up to the ring on Devin, but you won't pull up to the ring on Tank. You in the back taking pictures with Tank. You're not jumping in the ring saying nothing. You look soft as a bitch. But don't tell the Shakur Twittersome fans that. Don't tell Twittersome fans that, oh no, Devin, it's Devin's fault. Because Devin didn't give him exactly what he wanted. Because Devin didn't give him what he wanted, even though he's the B-side to Devin. But Devin got to give him what he wanted. If you don't give him what he wanted, then Devin ducked. Devin scared. Devin was a coward. Devin ran to 140. But Tank didn't run to 140 to fight Barrios, right? He didn't run to 140 to fight Barrios. But he came back BFTB. Devin said, no problem. No problem. I'll go back down there for the right fight. Oh, but Devin said he's not going back down there. Yes, so did Ryan Garcia. They don't dictate anything right now. Devin will be shortly. Real soon, Devin will he will very, very soon be dictating everything. Very, very soon. And it might be sooner than you think. Because if Gervonta Tank Davis loses to Frank Martin, which I think he will, if he loses to Frank Martin, he's the B-side to Devin Haney. Yeah. Too many people running around here talking about he got what Tank on it. He got to knock him out, blah, blah, whatever, bro, whatever. Each his own. But that don't have anything to do with Shakur Twitterson ducking Gervonta Tank Davis because he did. Had no issue petitioning the WBC. Well, you know, that shit did. I did what I was supposed to do, and I went to the WBC, and I had the WBC. Hey, WBC, do your job. Hey, WBC, do your job. Yeah? Well, why don't you tell the WBA to do their job? Doesn't the WBA have a job too? Isn't their job the exact same thing as the WBC's job? Just the belt is a different color? So why didn't you tell the WBA to do their job? But it was cool to tell the WBC to do their job. That shit did. I went to the WBC, and I told WBC do their job. And you know, whatever the WBC would have said, I would have did it, you know, whatever. So why didn't you do that with the WBA? Why didn't you petition the WBA to become Tank's mandatory? You do realize that you petitioned Zapata. You went after Zapata. If Zapata said no, cool. You went after what's the name? You asked for Lomachenko. If Lomachenko said no, cool. You went after George Kambosos, cool. You went after Pitbull Cruz, cool. The WBA sees that, just like the WBC does. So you could have went at Ryan Garcia and said, hey, Ryan, you're number one. I want to fight Tank Davis. Fight me for the Mando spot. You didn't, because Ryan Garcia was at 140. That's why. I don't even know why the man was still ranked at 135 and he was fighting at 140, but whatever. If you remove Ryan Garcia, who was fighting at 140, then Frank Martin was number one. You could have went after Frank Martin and said, hey, Frank Martin, fight me for the mandatory spot to fight Tank Davis. Well, let me guess, you couldn't have did that because he was ranked higher than you. So as he's ranked higher than you, he would have been in the driver's seat. That's why you couldn't do that. That's why your chump ass went the WBC route where you were ranked higher. So that you can say, man, he's a bitch. Bitch of all bitches, man. You're a bitch, man. We sent this dude a contract, man. We sent this dude this week. Crying ass nigga. You send all these people contracts, but you didn't send one to Lomachenko. You send all these people contracts, but you didn't send one to Devin Haney. You sent everybody else contracts, but you didn't send one to Frank Martin until the fight was ordered by the WBC. But see, he was ranked higher than you in the WBA, and still is. He was ranked higher than you. So you could have went after him for a shot at Tank Davis. That's the biggest fight, man. That's the biggest fight. Listen, it's just me and Tank, man. Me and Tank. You can name 15 other fighters, and it don't even matter. The biggest fight in boxing is me and Tank. It's me and Tank. But then you ducked him. You were the B-side. You're going to be the B-side regardless. I don't give a damn if you get 2 belts. You're still the B-side of Tank Davis. I don't care. Devin Haney was undisputed, and he was the B-side to Tank Davis. So if you think if you beat Lomachenko, if you beat Devin's leftovers, that's going to make you the A-side to Tank Davis, that's going to make you a 50-50 split, that's going to, I fought multiple divisions, I fought in the Olympics, you're the B-side to Tank Davis. No matter what you do, you're the B-side. No matter what you do. So why didn't you just become his mandatory and be the B-side anyway? Fight Frank Martin for the Mando spot or petition the WBA to become the mandatory without fighting anybody. You could have did both. You chose neither. You ducked that man. But I know they'll be in the comments telling y'all something else. But the facts are the facts, and they do not lie. They are what they are, regardless of how anybody tries to fluff them. BFTB. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I'm out.